Unnecessary. A telephone call would have done the job, and Mr. Stone would have appeared. But let Roger speak for himself. There's nothing to hide. He has nothing to hide, and he's spoken before, and he'll speak to you now. Roger.
Congratulations, Roger. We got you, Roger.
Thank you.
Stand with you, Roger.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. As I have always said, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. After a 2-year inquisition, the charges today relate in no way to Russian collusion, WikiLeaks collaboration, or any other illegal act in connection with the 2016 campaign. I am falsely accused of making false statements during my testimony to the House Intelligence Committee. That is incorrect. Any error I made in my testimony would be both immaterial and without intent. I find it disturbing that the special counsel's office released a press release prior to informing my attorneys that I would be charged today. This morning, at the crack of dawn, 29 FBI agents arrived at my home with 17 vehicles with their lights flashing when they could simply have contacted my attorneys, and I would have been more than willing to surrender voluntarily. They terrorized my wife, my dogs. I was taken to the FBI facility, although I must say the FBI agents were extraordinarily courteous. I will plead not guilty to these charges. I will defeat them in court. I believe this is a politically motivated investigation. I am troubled by the political motivations of the prosecutors. And as I have said previously, there is no circumstance whatsoever under which I will bear false witness against the president, nor will I make up lies to ease the pressure on myself. I look forward to being fully and completely vindicated.
Roger, did you in any way cooperate with the special counsel's office? Did you in any way cooperate with the special counsel's office?
Since I was not contacted prior to the charges today, my lawyers have not talked to the special prosecutors. I don't want to address that question, but I have made it clear I will not testify against the president. Because I would have to bear false witness against him.
Will you work with the prosecutor?
I will be appearing for an arraignment in D.C. next week, and I'll address those questions at that time.
Roger, the president said that you had tweeted that. What do you think he meant by that?
Well, I intend to tell the truth. I have told the truth through this entire proceeding, and I will prove that in a court of law.
How strong are you going to ask the president for a pardon?
I am one of his oldest friends. I am a fervent supporter of the president. I think he is doing a great job of making America great again.
Roger, did anyone tell you to contact, in the Trump campaign, to contact WikiLeaks?
No, I've addressed that before. That is incorrect.
Roger, look at the indictment. If you're convicted, you think the president will pardon you?
Pardon me?
If you were convicted, you think the president would pardon you?
The only person I've advocated a pardon for is Marcus Garvey.
Some from NBC News, sir.
Yes.
The question is, did you in any way work with the Russians to help President Trump?
Categorically not. No, absolutely not.
And the prosecutor, your special prosecutor,
We got you, Roger.
is gathering
We got you back, Roger.
Will you in any way...
With all due respect, I haven't even had a chance to read the indictment.
You haven't even read the indictment?
Correct. My attorneys have. I have not had that opportunity.
So will you help the prosecutor to answer his question?
I will address those questions next week in Washington, D.C.
Roger,
Thank you.
if you didn't do nothing wrong, what do you think you're here?
Okay, Roger Stone, longtime Donald Trump, President Trump confidant and friend, appearing outside court after his arrest and indictment today. Roger Stone called this an, quote, inquisition. He said there has been no collusion between him and Russians, no campaign coordination in the 2016 election. He said he will not bear false witness against the president. He said he will not testify against the president. But what a scene outside court there. As some folks chant, lock him up. Others say, we got your back, Roger. Clearly a lot of people waiting outside there to see exactly what happened following Roger Stone's court appearance. We should mention he did not enter a plea today, but a judge has set a $250,000 bond for Roger Stone. Also, Stone cannot travel outside South Florida, Washington, D.C., and New York City. He was also told he could not have any contact with any witnesses, and he does have to undergo drug tests, which he did not object to. DeMarco Morgan has been outside the courthouse all morning there. So DeMarco, I'm not sure exactly what you're seeing there, but Roger Stone walked back and now is walking back out again.
Yeah, he's actually walking out, I believe, about to head to his car, his black SUV with his attorneys, of course. But you said it, this scene has been pretty crazy. It actually got a little heated when Roger Stone made his way to the podium here. Those who are supporting him and those who are obviously against him yelling, lock him up, you name it. But the one thing that was interesting, just to point out that he said at the podium when he got there, was that he feels like he's being falsely accused. He also went after prosecutors, saying that he believes that it's sort of like some type of political motivation behind these charges that he's facing right now, and said that he will plead not guilty to these charges. He also said that when it's all said and done, that he will be, he feels that he will be completely vindicated. And this was another thing that he pointed out. He said that he believes that the president is doing a good job at making America great again. So he's, you know, sort of like not holding back when it comes to having the back of what he calls his friend, and of course the president, being that he's a former advisor to President Trump. But again, things are starting to clear out right now. But you heard all of this commotion. Another thing that I wanted to point out, you can't see them now, but there were shirts out here that were already ready saying, you know, free Roger Stone, don't lock him up. And he was just arrested a couple hours ago. So that just goes to show you, one, how people can get shirts and everything made so quickly, but how this man still has a large amount of support, even though he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. These are just charges, but he still has a large amount of support here. So it'll be interesting just to see, Jeff, where he goes from here. But again, you talked about those travel restrictions that are in place. He can only travel to federal courts in New York City, Washington, D.C., and here in Florida. We'll see. Things back to you.
Okay, DeMarco, thank you very much, DeMarco. Interesting, maybe an understatement here. The video you're seeing in the right of your screen here now is Roger Stone speaking from earlier. That was just on camera. His attorney spoke first, and then Roger Stone. But again, to recap quickly, the big news of the day, Roger Stone arrested at his Florida home as the FBI showed up just before dawn. He just appeared in court, did not enter a plea, but said he will eventually plead guilty, and said he would never testify against the president. We are going to have a lot more on the indictment of Roger Stone on your local news on this CBS station. Of course, full coverage on CBSN, our streaming news service all day long, and full reports tonight on the CBS Evening News with Jeff Pegues. Will be down there in Florida, Major Garrett, also Paula Reed, and our team. Until then, I'm Jeff Glor, CBS News in New York.
For news 24 hours a day, go to CBSNews.com.